Hi, Melody Brook here. Today I want to talk about this thing that's happening in our media with all the elections, and that I actually think it's a good thing, even though I know it stirred up a lot of emotions for a lot of people and brought back a lot of memories and helped women to identify the times when they have been sexually abused that they hadn't really thought of as being sexual abuse, which I think is a wonderful thing, because then you can begin to acknowledge the impact of that on you once you realize that maybe these things that happened to you shouldn't have happened. So I think that's really important. I also think it's important as women for us to begin to recognize the impact that we have on men based on our own sexual power, because I think sometimes we don't really realize that. And I think we have to start educating women and men about these issues and start a dialogue about them that can begin to heal this huge, long time that we have suffered from this conflict of interest. I think part of what happens is that we don't talk about these things. We don't talk about the fact that men and women in power and who are celebrities and who have a lot of money, that they are put in this position to have a large amount of power that they're then vulnerable to misusing if they're not educated and helped to understand what's happening. I think that we enable that, many of us, both men and women, largely women. If you read, many of us have heard anecdotes about women who have dressed in a certain way and thrown themselves at rock stars, movie stars, golf stars, political figures, because they want to be close to that power and they want some of that power themselves, and they don't feel powerful within themselves, and so they use the power that they do have in an inappropriate way. And what I'm talking about is women have a certain amount of sexual power over men. That cannot be denied, because we have what they want. We have something they want, and they might have something we want: power, fame, money, whatever it is, and women will trade on their looks, their beauty, their sexuality to get some of that. And I know men will do it too, but it's far more often that it's women that this happens to. And I think a couple of things happen is when we're sexual abuse survivors like I am, don't even recognize sometimes that that's what's happening, because we were raised in a culture where that was just sort of how it was, that, we were seen as sexual objects. We expect to be treated as sexual objects, and it's nothing new when it happens. We think if there's something we don't like, there's something wrong with us for not liking it, for allowing it to happen, and all that horrible, shameful stuff that we go through. And I'm opening this discussion so that we can begin to alter not only how we experience these things, how we can begin to empower ourselves to prevent these things from happening to us, and how we can start to educate both our boys and our girls about this issue so that we can have it not happen so much anymore. This is the exciting thing about this all coming out right now. At first I thought it was a terrible thing, and the longer it's gone on, the more I've realized it's wonderful, because it's taking something that's been in the shadows into the light. And so bringing it into the light, we need to look at it from men's perspective and the women's perspectives. I want my Republican friends, my Democrat friends, my men friends, my female friends, my liberals friends, my extremely right-wing friends to look at this topic perhaps in a way that you haven't looked at it before. Recognizing that this is a thing that happens when people have a lot of money and power, political fame, women who have a lot of physical prowess because of their looks, their physical shape, and they choose to use that, package that in such a way as to attract sexual attention. They use their power in a sexual way. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not condemning that at all. I think it's a beautiful thing. In fact, I'm really glad that I have some of that. But on the other hand, we have to recognize the impact of that. We have to recognize the impact of our behavior, the impact of our dress, the impact that it has, and take ownership of the fact that we do have that power. And when we do that, then we can set ourselves up to protect ourselves better when we have an awareness of that power. That's what I'm talking about, and I think it's extremely important. It's also extremely important for us to recognize as a culture how we've set this thing up to happen through media, through our capitalistic society where fame and fortune and power are what everybody strives for. And so if you're a woman and you don't have that, and what power you do have is your sexuality, you're going to use that. It's been seen throughout history. Look at all the women that threw themselves at Bill Clinton, who've thrown themselves probably at Donald Trump even, and how they, as men, have taken advantage of their power, physical power perhaps at times, certainly their financial and political and social power. And it's not been a good result for anyone, not for them, certainly in the end, and certainly not for the women who didn't even realize that that's what they were doing, maybe. So let's talk about this so that we can begin to change the discussion and help educate ourselves, educate our children to have a different outcome for our future. The name of my book is called Oh Wow, This Changes Everything, and you can find out more about me at melodybrook.com. My book is available on Audible, on Kindle, and through Amazon. Talk to you later. Bye.